Um, but it has to be that way though, right? You're not going to get one in a week when you're dealing with Gen Pop.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I just wish it was a Saturday, but it'll be good. It's gonna be the best one I've done, 100%. He's so because the last photo shoots I've done, they weren't as like dialed in. It's kind of like I just kind of at the end of their journey, we just chucked in a photo shoot. So this is the first person I've actually mapped it out, and just by doing the following the peak week and actually I'm like learning as I'm doing it. I feel like I could do a photo shoot properly of anyone now in a weird way.
That's good. I like that. That's really good. Yeah, and it's just about how it's again. It's like everything, right? I once recently did a guest sort of like pre-recorded lecture for a guy called Josh Mullins, who runs UK
Yeah, I know.
PTs.
He
You know
lives
Josh, right?
lives local, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I talked about beating imposter syndrome, and I always remember about I used to work with a guy called Adam Wright, right? Self-professed, not he didn't think he was the smartest trainer, but he always got loads of good results. I was like, why? It's because he had a system. So he like, I don't necessarily wholeheartedly agree with the system, and I don't mind saying this on a recording. So I bet it's not what he does now. But every guy got 1,600 calories. Every girl got 1,200. Everyone got GBC full body. They're pretty much the same exercises. But he could scale it, and he got good at that one thing. He didn't spend time with shiny objects. He just got good at that, really good at that one thing. And I was like, well, how do I take a bit of that, but actually put something that I've learned behind it? And that was game changing because it's like, is it the only way to dial someone in for a photo shoot? And is the best way to be able to have different approaches that you can pull out the bag and have different tools in your toolbox? Yes. But until you've tried one enough, I just think stick to one approach, get good at it, and that becomes your approach. Because then you'll have confidence. Oh, I know what I'm doing, and I've tried this and I've adjusted this with 10 different people, as opposed to being like I'm half confident in 10 different ways to do the same thing. You end up getting nowhere.
I'm extremely confident now because I pretty much do the same thing, bar like the odd client that comes in and they're a bit airy fairy. But having said that, the only thing I've been thinking about is recently listening to like podcasts because I want to scale this and I want to be at like a lot more clients, but the intake that I've had recently, like doing like I value the onboarding calls because they work so well, but like doing 5, 6, 7 in a week for everything else is just like there must be a way that I can do it whilst doing a Loom recording. But I hate the back and forth of like,
well, that's the thing. Are you actually wasting more time? Like I do both. If it makes it any easier. So when I set somebody up, I'll have a Loom recording. What takes 5 minutes of Loom record stuff, and it just means they're not waiting till when I do my setup calls, which are Fridays, right? So they're not waiting for it. So they'll literally come in, they'll get a Loom recording, they'll get started, they'll gather some questions, and then I'm just asking the key questions. I'm not going through literally everything. And then my kickstart calls will probably be about 30 to 40 minutes normally, unless I get chatting.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think there's things that you should scale in your business and things you shouldn't. And I think the kickstart call probably isn't.
It's important.
I would scale things around it.
Yeah.
Like for sake of argument, right? If you know you could, for sake of argument, so let's say, like, do you send all your checking emails manually?
I don't do. I send it through Kahunas manually. Yeah.
You do that manually every week, right? I don't know how it would link with Kahunas, but like, how much time could you save if you paid like an automation guy 1,500 quid and go? And I've done this, where you go, they set up your onboarding for you. So when someone signs up, they'll go into the onboarding. That gets them some key information to drip feed them, so they don't have as many questions. Then that you could link that to via Zapier to Google Drive, so you can make them a spreadsheet. Right, that is 90% of the way there. You could even send them it if you want to, and say, "We'll personalize this on the call." What I tend to do is it makes them a spreadsheet, and then I send that one email manually, so I can just adjust a few little bits. But like, I then automate your check-ins. So like, check-in email goes out, check-in reminders go out. Like, I would save time on that remedial stuff rather than actual coaching and building rapport with your clients.
I'll write it down. Yeah. Let me write it down. Actually, I need to put a fucking check-in. I've got a check-in reminder, but I want to send one in another way. So if I write this now,
I'll have to show you mine. It helps you.
How do you send your emails for checking reminders, like the automation? Do you use a software or do you?
Active Campaign and Gmail.
Oh, you just drag all your clients into an email list, basically, a separate one.
So it automatically signs them up when they sign up on the page. That will link via Zapier. So you'll need Zapier, which costs a little bit a month.
Okay, use Zapier. Okay.
Like, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
They'll get linked. They'll automatically put in here. Actually, I'll just go through the whole lot. Am I on the right one? Client management. So this is what I got set up for a guy called Paul from ATO Solutions, which I can definitely put you in touch with. He ain't cheap, but it's a game changing. So I don't have that many clients now, right? But for the sake of argument, someone joins, they sign up. Once they've paid, they'll get immediately sent out the onboarding email. The initial onboarding email will be sent. It will send them the information about the Facebook, WhatsApp group now for these guys. It will send them information about send them the onboarding form and a welcome video. Right, nothing too complicated at this stage. Once they fill in the onboarding form, I'll use Kian as an example because I know he won't mind. It will immediately make them a card. I don't do this manually. It'll immediately make them a card in Trello, and then it'll have his on form in here, which I'm going to go through. I'm going to breeze through. It'll make him a spreadsheet, which actually I need to relink because I don't use that spreadsheet email. That's when I was using this for meal plans only.
Yeah.
And then it'll put photos in here. It'll have this spend when I was using the app. I'll have some key things I need to tick off, and then all the check-ins will go into here.
Okay.
So that happens automatically, and that builds it up for me. And then in Active Campaign, if I go to, let's say the onboarding, we'll do that one first. So the monthly client is added. Send the welcome email, which, if you see in here, wants to load up. Come on. Normally it opens up in the corner. There you are.
There we go.
So, welcome video, join the WhatsApp community, grab your welcome pack, complete your assessments.
Yeah.
And then wait for 24 hours. I send them an email about the check-in, why it's important, how to do it. Then I send them how to make the most of nutrition, which is just a written one. And with a SWOT document and the food prep manual. Getting more from the gym. Some key things to buy. Then I have a very, very quick email on day one. There's literally me walking down Hong Kong Harbour, which I probably need to change now because it'll make it look like the aim was to make it look like an off the cuff. I've just sent this you.
Yeah.
Which obviously now it won't. And then initial action steps. I go over my first 21 days, like food diaries, what I need you to send me on WhatsApp for 3 weeks. And then I send them a 7-day, how you getting on? Understanding your journey. So I talk about the journey, the reset, rebuild, replenish document. And then I send something at week 6. And then I send them a referral at week 8. So that's all linked up. And then regards to check-ins, a little bit more complicated, but I didn't do this myself. So here, they'll ask them, I'll send them a check-in email every Saturday. So current Saturday at 5 p.m. Check-in email with a little video of how to use it. Come on. Then it'll wait 12 hours and it'll ask you, has the person done the check-in? Yes. If no, they'll send them a late check-in reminder. And if it wait another day, and it says the person checked in, it'll be like, yes, go back to the start, or no, give me an email going, someone hasn't checked in.
Oh, so you give them like a double check-in reminder on the same day?
Saturday, then Sunday. So I give them the day before, the morning of, if they haven't done it, and then Monday, I'll get a notification saying,
hey. Do you know what's really fucking good on Kahunas? They've got their own automations on there, like which works well.
Automated messages.
Yeah. So like my onboarding is I will just add a client and they'll get onboarding messages of videos in the messaging software we message on there.
Yeah.
So
I just like good, on this because on my check-in forms it has a question
sheets,
on type form. It says, how was your demon spin this week? Right. So if you say anything between 2 and 4, you'll automatically get moved from not checked in to amber. If you do red, if you say 1, it'll go to red. If you say
Okay.
green, if you say 5, it'll go to green, and then I know how much to check in on certain people.
Do you reckon I should just keep because at the moment it's working. I'm getting people results and I'm happy. Do you
It
reckon
depends
just
if you're overblown with time, right? If you can streamline any of this stuff. If you're having to do things manually every week that you don't need to, that's the chance of you forgetting that if you want to message everyone about the check-ins. If you have
No, that stuff's automated. I mean, like with the whole process of for example, I create everyone's meal plan individually. I create their obviously their onboarding call. Like, do you reckon just keep doing it? And if at some point I'm like, well, I can't scale this, then we can have the conversation about how we can make don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it right now, basically.
Yeah, I'd say that. I like streamline what you like, things that you don't need your skills on. So I want streamline programs that streamline programs aren't like we've already streamlined it, right? Make skeleton programs that you make small adjustments to. Meal plans, don't faff around with fancy macro calculators. Just get something out to them as quickly as possible. I mean, you can almost automate that, right? Literally, almost. You could literally have a template, 10 calories per pound. That's essentially what I do. When someone puts their weight, I put their weight on the intro part of that spreadsheet, and 10 calories per pound, meal plan made.
Goes in.
Right? In a second. And then I just adjust the foods just to make sure it fits and make sure they like it.
Oh, you've already got meal plans that set for it already?
It's already in that master sheet. Look, I'll show you.
No, but
so you can do
what I'm doing is
and what I know people do, they have 1,200 calories, 1,400 calories, 600 calories, 800 calories, 2,000. But I don't know how editable they are. They maybe are on Kahunas. But
yeah, they
for
are.
me, if you see here on the intro page, so see how this says 63 kilos. And if I go into meal plan, it gives me 1,300 calories, right?
Yeah.
And these are the macros, right? If I change that to 110, this will change. There you go.
Adjust the foods as well to fit.
No, the foods don't, but that doesn't take me too long to do.
Oh, maybe I should
just adjust portion sizes until these get up.
Maybe I will create some meal plans then, just to make my life easier.
But I wouldn't create meal plans necessarily if you're using meal plans in Kahunas. I wouldn't then start creating meal plans on spreadsheets.
No, I mean on Kahunas you can create. Yeah, if I create templates and adjust them, I'll see. I'm so quick at. I've been doing the same process before I worked with you. So I can do it so fucking quickly that I don't really and I adjust it on the call with them anyway. So maybe I'll leave it.
Exactly.
But what's the score tomorrow anyway?
Well, let's listen to this voice note together. Can you hear this?
No.
Can you hear that? Oh, maybe he's hurt himself. Hold on. Let me hear.
I ruptured a few weeks ago. I've got to have a further MRI because it's a part rupture, so they want to just see how much a rupture is before they make a decision on the operation. Which is what
Hold on.
To get in from
I'm gonna mute this a second. Levi's gonna let me know regards to tomorrow's stuff. He might have to have when he started talking about bicep tendon surgery, I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't want that on a recording.
That's fair enough.
I'll let you know.
Else going?
Huh?
Is it happening or not?
I don't know. I don't know for certain. It depends if Levi comes. If there's 2 of us, I'll do it. If there's not, then I won't. And I'll just wait for a time where it works better. It was an off the cuff thing because Levi's overthinking some stuff, and I was like, hey, should we just meet up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd always be down for it. So just let me know. If not, it's not a stress.
I'm gonna do a more formal, structured one towards the end of the year. Maybe in December and then get people maybe Kian flying over.
Yeah.
And things like that, right?
Yeah, that'd be really fucking good. That'd be really good, Christmas meet up.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it we got go through? I was gonna ask you a question on should we go through clients?
Clients is good.
Yeah.
Anything, man. This is your time.
So I wanted to go through. Yeah, if we go through my clients and like their progress and like what I've got written down. So I guess I know we spoke about this last week. I'm just getting a bit like frustrated at the moment of the amount of shit clients that I'm having. And I just wondered your thoughts. So like everyone in red, I'll go through. So this is the guy I spoke to him, the guy who's on TV, the pizza guy.
Yeah.
I messaged him what you said, and it worked really well. So I messaged him Monday as he was at ITV Studios, and or when they were filming him, and he messaged me back saying, "Yeah, it's just he said, I haven't even had like the time to eat." He was like, "I've been trying to prepare." I said, "Right, what's 3 meals you can stick to?" And he said, "I've been trying to like prepare veg and rice, but I don't want to. I don't want to prep chicken because it's dry." I said, "Right." He said, "Welcome to my ideas." So I created like a document for him of like some simple ideas, sent it to him. Haven't heard from him, but again, I know he's like, if a client says they're busy, I actually know he's fucking busy. Whereas it's not so much an excuse. So I'm not worried about him because, you know, as you mentioned, when he's getting contacted by all these papers, he's flying to Italy, he's on TV. That's his most important thing right now, more than anything. He won't give a fuck about the diet. So I almost
as long as he knows, he ain't gonna look better at the end of this if he's not following it, right? That's the clear caveat, right? I don't mind if someone says if it's not someone's priority, I don't mind as long as they're very aware that it's not their priority. It's not they're not trying to do both, not following it, and then disappointed when the results aren't coming from the work they didn't do. Because believe me, a lot of people will be.
Yeah. I mean, he lost a stone in like the first 2 weeks. He just like fucking. I mean, he still lost a stone in his first 4 weeks, so it's not like bad. But Oliver is in a bulking phase. He asked me a question today. I'm just gonna go through them quickly. He asked me a question today about. He asked me like, "You've been researching like is mobility good for like muscle building?" I just said we can start thinking about breathing mechanics and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't see any issues with mobility from your videos.
Yeah, what made him ask the question? What's he worried about in terms of mobility?
No, it's just like people research because they get into stuff.
So what's the thing he actually mentioned? Because mobility is such a broad topic. He must have got into his head and gone, "Oh, maybe my mobility is not good enough."
So I just voice noted him back. I didn't respond yet because he's on the American time zone. I just said, is there any issues you feel like you're having at the moment, like tightness in any sort of areas? So I'm just waiting for his response. But muscle building wise, you don't need to do it.
Can he train through his full active range on the muscles on the train? And if he can, then it's not really that much of an issue.
That's what I said. Yeah, okay. So that's cool. Henry photo shoot, all sorted. So I'm clear on that. This is like you laugh. Dana, I've been training her in total for like almost 2 years. And she's been with me now. She'd left and come back. She's been with me like 4 months now. She's only lost like 2 kg. She's like overweight. And I looked at her. We've been racking my brain. She sent me a long message like she's getting frustrated. She's been logging just a random sugar and tea on her MyFitnessPal every single day. I was like, "Have you not been doing that individually?" She said, No. Why would I do that? And I was like, "Because I've been telling you to do that." And I was like, and I added it up in front of her, and I was like, "You do realize that's 500 calories every day just from milk and sugar."
Hold on, how much milk and sugar is she putting in her tea? That's a lot, right?
Mate, she's having like fucking 5-6 teas a day. She's like,
well, I'll tell you a story, a similar thing, right? I had a client she was quite lean, but she wanted to get very, very lean, and it wasn't even a weight loss thing. It was she was saying that she wasn't recovering from sessions, and her sleep was terrible. And we were racking our brains as to why. And she was like super driven to get shredded, right? And we realized the sleep was really making her hungry, making it hard for her. And then she couldn't work out what it was. Her bedtime routine was fine, but she just couldn't shut off. She just couldn't. She was just wired. And I was like, "Are you drinking any coffee?" And she's like, "No." And then we found out. I go, "Well, what do you drink?" I was like, "Well, I drink green tea." I was like, "How much green tea?" She's like 4 or 5 liters of green tea. She was like basically using that in her water.
4 or 5 liters?
Liters, because she knew she had to drink 4 or 5 liters of water. And then so she decided to thought that like, well, I'm going to have loads of green tea because green tea is going to make you lose weight. So then she was ramped up on caffeine and she had no idea there was caffeine in tea.
Fucking hell, I'd die. I don't even drink caffeine. 4 or 5 liters. How many tea bags she put in just for that?
I can't even remember. But like, yeah, that's why she was wired.
Fuck me. All right. So that's that. Ben's all good. Got
So
him
is she losing weight now?
progressing.
She's taken that out.
No, we spoke yesterday, and I said you've got to send them food pictures. Like, so that I'm clear now on like what to do next, and I've given her the strategy. So we'll see. I said next 14 days we'll see. Ben's all good. Matt sees my cousin. You know, like some clients I'm not even going to bother talking to him about. I'm just going to leave him.
Is he paying you,
Tyler,
Matt?
yeah, he's paying me like 165.
So why isn't he following it?
Well, he runs a business, so getting contact with him is like hit and miss anyway. So the communication's not great, but he training wise is good. He loves the gym, trains hard, loves the cycling. I think he's like lost the weight. He's lost like 10 kg. Like he's looking good. I personally think that although he thinks he wants to lose more weight, I don't think he really wants to. And we just need to have that conversation.
Yeah,
and I think that
I think it's still worth having the conversation because he is a paying client.
Yeah.
So like, don't set like sort of go easy on him than your other clients because he's family. It's like, well, he's paying you, so he deserves the service. So I'd just be like, look, like, dude, are you like? I was like, I don't care. Are you wanting to lose me more weight? I just want to know so I know where to push you, you know, and let him decide that.
Because I'm just getting pissed off trying to diet with him. Tyler, again, don't hear from her. The woman about the blood pressure, don't hear from her. So I just keep contacting
Remind me,
her.
what about the blood pressure?
You know, I went through the medical.
Oh, okay, yeah,
things,
yeah.
But I don't hear from her. So there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to keep following up with her. Matt's finishing up soon. This is a client, right? I've had him for like 4 months, and sees a therapist. I know he's got really bad mental health issues, and his dad passed away in COVID. So I think that has like really affected it. He's just overweight. He's like 120, 115 kg. It's like one of those clients that no matter what, they won't track their habits. They don't really track their calories. They don't plan social events with you. He's lost weight the last 2 weeks, and it's just like it's. I just keep reinforcing it every week. Can you track habits this week? Can you do this? Can you do that? Just to cover my back to make sure that I'm giving him the fit. Because
have you asked him why he doesn't?
Don't really hear from him. Again, clients that don't communicate with me, like it will do is check in. Won't hear from him till a week and 10 days later.
Do you run a community group?
Yeah, he doesn't respond in it.
Yeah, I would tag everyone in the community group. Just do a very generic video, but looking like maybe highlight some people. And just like highlight the good people, don't highlight the bad people. And go, look, these people are doing really, really well. Maybe showcase some of the results, like put it on a pic, like show on your phone, like before and after. You know, like these, as long as the client's happy with that, and be like, look, these guys are doing well. Why? Because they check in all the time, because they communicate, because they follow up. I'm gonna do the same thing about the roundtables because you get an extra free calls. I'm literally gonna do a live in the group after this and basically just say you're getting the most at the moment from SMU. Because you've booked all your one-to-ones, right? You turn up to every call, and you turn up to the roundtables. So like, you're getting the most from this. You're getting better results, and in turn, like, how many more clients have you got taken on
recently?
In the last sort of like 16-ish weeks.
14 clients since mid-August to like last week. So like, yeah.
So when people say they don't have time because they're trying to make sure they run the business, right? And I would say that's not an excuse because Lorenzo's probably taking on more clients than you.
I'm working like fucking every day. I'm up at 7. I'm on my laptop, and I don't stop until like 7, 8 in the evening. Like, I'm every day.
Yeah, I'll put that in as well. Right, because that's the thing. People will get cluttered with time, right, and they're not turn up. But you're smashing it, and this is why. I would do the same thing for your clients, and just be like, just do a little thing, like don't call anyone out, but just like look, like I'm trying to remember that Adam had a really, really good video. I can't remember. It was in one of his mentorship groups, and he put it in the OT group, and I can't remember what it was called. It's actually, let me look back because I did a version of it in the group. What is now the Coaching Confidence group, which used to be, which used to be my client group, and I'm trying. Is there a way of finding out old lives I did? No, without scrolling back. Trying to find what it was. Carry on anyway. I'll find it. But
That's fine.
it was a great little analogy to sort of talk about the clients that are getting the best and why.
That's cool. You let me know. But I think this is really good, actually. I'm gonna now on every client that are not doing it, I'm actually just gonna ask them, why don't you?
That's
complete?
the first question, right? Don't mansplain. Like, why don't you check in the weekends?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that's the friction point? Because let's see, because either it's it's either a all right, but if you don't do it, you understand that you're not going to lose as much as you want, maybe, or it's that's a friction point we can fix.
Yeah, it might be like it's too much. I might trim one habit instead of 4 or 5. Like,
or even not even that. They might go, oh well, I don't want to do it because I don't want to bring my phone out to track my fitness pal. Okay, well, could you send me the menus on Friday? Oh, I could do that. And they didn't even think of a solution. I had a client once that said he was one of these cluttered guys. He didn't speak great English either. I had a bunch of clients from Serbia for a long period of time, and he was like, I have no time for steps. He was getting like 2,000 a day. I'm sitting there, he goes, but no time at all, no time for steps whatsoever. Okay, all right. I was like, well, how'd you get to work? And he was like, I drive. I goes, where'd you park? Right outside my office. Okay, and like, are you like, do you arrive on time? Are you early? I'm always early. I'm like, okay. Well, could you park a car park down the road a little bit? Oh, yeah, I could do that. He didn't even think of that as a possibility. He was so wrapped up in his own head that he didn't think about what could be what the possible solutions. He's too in that focus, I've got to do this mode. So sometimes you just having that question like, what is the issue? And they might admit nothing. And that's also good.
But then also don't get like, I'm just trying to lower my expectation and frustrations, because although these things are great, I also understand he may not respond and it may take a week or 2 weeks to fully have this conversation. So like,
well, then that's his own fault.
So what I'm trying to say is I keep looking at this every day and frustrating myself at stuff, but I know that I can't force people to respond to me or do shit. Like, that's not on me, it's on them.
I have and again, I absolutely have no problems at all saying this on a live. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy being a call out person, because this person I don't even think has logged into the portal. I had someone who was referred to me by another member of the group, and not slating him. He's been a fantastic person on our January intake. He's still here. I'll give you a clue. It's Ray. And I shout out to Ray. If you watch this back, mate, you're like fucking legend of a bloke.
Ray's a cool guy.
But he referred me one of his friends, right? And he was great for a couple of weeks. You might have seen him in the first couple of weeks. Hasn't turned up to anything since. Doesn't respond to any messages. Didn't log into the portal. What can I do? Right? If he doesn't get any better results from this, well, that's his own fault, right? Because I know people like you are going to add 14 clients in a month, and I appreciate that you are on a business membership. I've made that mistake this week and got in trouble with the biceps and banter guys. I didn't take credit for their work, but he took it that way. Anyway, long story for another day. But like, I appreciate that you were the business mentor as well, and Mark calls and stuff, and that's obviously a lot to do with the business side of stuff. But like, getting more results, getting more social proof, being more confident on sales calls, all helped. You've got better results. You're more confident with them. Why? Because you turn up. But you could have easily been the person that paid the money and didn't turn up, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
There's no difference on day one, really, between the two of these people. The difference is you made the time, right? So it's like if you back yourself, and like, I will help anybody who gets themselves in front of me. And if you can have the same thought with your clients, is I will help anyone who puts themselves in front of me. It's all you can do.
Do you know what's weird? Even coming into this, I did it because I felt like I had to, because I haven't really done much learning. But I actually don't love like nutrition and training. That like it's not really a passion of mine. But I've just got into this, and I just enjoy getting people. Like, I love seeing people look lean at the end of a process, and I love making money, and that's enough for me to do the things that are making more money.
I will challenge you though. If you went all in on studying training for the next 3 months, I think you'll learn to love it.
No, I think so, because I'm already loving programming a bit more, and I hated it before. So it's made it more enjoyable. Like 100%.
You just wanted to cut out the fluff, right? When you're overwhelmed with 17 million decisions, you're like, I hate this. This is too much. I tried to make a landing page on Active Campaign the other day, right? and I'm just going to get graphic to do mine because I got it, and I was like, well, I was making some good progress with it, and could I learn it? Yeah, I could learn it. Why didn't I enjoy it? Because there's too many things. Like I got really annoyed the fact that the button didn't have orange. Like, why isn't there orange? And like that stuff. It's like, well, if you can create a template where it's like, this is essentially for you, just personalize it. If you get me a Canva graphic and say, Simon, personalize this to your social media, I'd love it. If you told me to make something from a blank piece of white paper, I'd be too overwhelmed. I wouldn't start.
Yeah, no, so true. Yeah, you've just made my life easier. But this client's leaving soon, so like we're not even dieting anymore. We're just consolidating, so I don't need help with her. Ben's good. The only people that put orange is that he's lost 1% every single week. He's on target. It's just that I've noticed he hasn't tracked his habits this week, so I'm just put that there for me to follow up with him today. Make sure. Yeah. Tom's my cousin. This is an interesting one. He's young, like he's really young, and I'm the sort of person he is. Put it this way: his dad is my mum's brother. My mum didn't speak to him for like 25 years. He lives around the corner because he's just he used to do loads of drugs when he was younger. He's fat, gout, like he's just really overweight. And he's got issues. He lives in a house with his wife. They're not together, but they live together. He's been sleeping on the sofa for the last 10 years. You got Tom as the son, who's 21 or 22, 21 years old. And my two other cousins who are girls who don't talk to him in the same house. They hate him. He's I can't explain how much of a cunt he is. So Tom is like just a quiet and shy guy, but he loves his training and he's always like bulked. And he's got a lot of muscle mass. But for him, he's just been stuck in this diet limbo where he's like, I haven't really been taking it seriously and this and that. And he's like, I keep looking around at people in the gym being like stronger than me and getting bigger than me. It's really pissing me off and like that they're stronger than me. So it's like, I know how beneficial a diet is for him. I've explained that, the leaner we get, if we teach you how to get lean, one, you're going to feel fucking amazing and look amazing. You've never been there before. But two, I was like, I keep trying to tie it to his long-term goal of wanting to get bigger. I was like, getting lean for you now will be really good for you to move on to an next checkpoint. So if you just gain muscle now, you're going to be even fatter.
How overweight is he?
He's not overweight. I know I showed you the other week, the guy with the big quads.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? He's not overweight, but like, he's not lean.
Yeah. I mean, I would tie this into sort of like future-proofing it. Like, how would you feel if you got to the point where you couldn't do this anymore? And he's young, right? And I know you might not take this. So I'd start with this, then work back. And let's say when you're 50, 60, and you go, right, I never actually saw all my muscle that I worked hard for. I'm not actually doing all this bulking. I've never actually seen any of it.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Right? What's the point? Or then you can maybe go down and go, right, okay, so you got these guys in the gym right now getting bigger than you or stronger than you, right? Are they getting bigger than you or are they just getting fatter? Two, like you can look at this as in like that's the case now in some short term, and then you can just go after them. But then all of a sudden, when things start to plateau, and it's because you're too overweight to do this, right? Like you're now going to be frustrated that you can't build anymore, and you're just getting fatter. And at this point now, you are now further away
from your goal,
from being in a better place than you were than you are right now. If you committed to this, like fully committed to this, we can end this diet phase super quick and you get right back to bulking with in a better position to do it right.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I also said what you said the other day. I said, we can bulk now if you want, but you'd have to do a mini cut every 8 weeks or so. And I said that's 16 less weeks in the year, I said that's like 20. I said that's half of the year of mini cuts. That's half a year less of bulking.
What do you say?
That's what I said to him. Yeah, no, he sort of agreed. So like, it's just an ongoing thing. He's only paying me 100 quid.
And then I'd add to that then, every time you half-ass this diet, that's a week lost on either goal.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because like right now, you thinking that you don't like you wanted a diet because you don't want half a year less of bulking. But realistically now, if you're half-assing this for a year, you're wasting time. You're not doing dieting or bulking. You're just doing nothing. This is a waste of time.
That's really good. I'm going to use that. That's fucking gold. Claire, I put orange. She's actually good. She's on the
Do you know what I love about this? Sorry to cut you off. You came into this course not liking difficult conversations, and now you're like, I fucking love this difficult conversation.
Mate, I love it because I get even if it doesn't work, I get a buzz off like challenging people. Like that's what I've really enjoyed.
And you hated it when we started. You
Yeah,
hated
I
it.
fucking hated it. I did hate it, but I like it because it before the difficult conversations felt like I was attacking them, whereas now it's actually just giving them giving them like the this or that
Exactly.
type thing.
Exactly.
Claire's all good. She's losing weight, but she's broke up with a boyfriend, moved out, blah blah blah. So she's all good
Yeah.
at the moment. She's following the plan. Tom's following the plan. Jackie's following the plan.
Cool.
Like James has been following the plan, but he's a DJ. He's got back from Ibiza. I'm just going to leave him for now.
Okay.
Jody again. Like we've had 2 calls scheduled the last 2 weeks. Just cancel both of them. Rain check both of them.
Why?
Never hit. Last week she had COVID. This week she was like, oh, yesterday, oh, my sister's just had a baby. Oh, I need to look after family. Blah blah blah. Mate, I don't know with her. Like she never tracks her habits. Never does anything.
Yeah.
Never really checks in. She has lost weight, but like she's like, I know she's got a therapist, but she's like one of the most loudest, bubbliest girls. Like it's a joy to chat to her. When I chat to her, it's so great. But like you just don't like. It's a client I never speak to.
Do you know what I would have said? Again, sometimes I like calling people out because I think if the sisters had a baby, I think that's a genuine reason to rain check. I think that's fair enough, right? But most people rain check with they even know. It's like people coming on sales calls, so they don't want to buy from you. They'll tell you some like shit to get you off the call. You know, like that doesn't even mean anything, right? Just because they want to find an excuse because they don't want to tell you I don't want it. In the same way here, rather than saying I've not been following the diet, I don't want to call. Like I would have said on that first one, oh, I had COVID. I'd be like, okay. I didn't realize you could catch COVID over Zoom.
Yeah,
I would have just said
that's
that.
good. Yeah, that is fucking good.
Like if the excuse is bullshit, sarcasm is the best response.
Mm.
Like, what she
Yeah,
keep going on the call? Why didn't she call you?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, when you're busy, you just don't think, oh, COVID, okay, no worries.
You always think of the best line later. And I'm not in the situation, right? I'm
it's
sitting
true.
here in my office.
It's hindsight. Hindsight's a fucking beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Paul, this is a good one. So Paul I've been training him for like 9 months. We went through a cutting phase and he wanted to bulk. Then we started bulking. He didn't like gaining fat. So now we're back in the cutting phase and he's been progressing. But having said that, he lives in Singapore. The last few weeks have been really stressful for him. He's a podiatrist. He's been running courses. He's had a shoulder issue, which he's been seeing. Like he was almost thinking about going to get an injection for it, but he's changed his mind now. But like it's an AC joint issue, but it's been bad to the point where like he can't really put his arm around his girlfriend type thing, but he's still playing golf and like still training and stuff like that. He had a hamstring injury as well, which has taken 12 weeks to repair. He's just completely repaired it and he's back playing football now.
Okay.
So he's basically his stress level is so high the last 2 weeks. And so I'd say, right, this week, he just said to me, he wants to take the pressure off the diet. So I said, right, let's just take away, for the next 7 to 14 days, let's consolidate. Let's not worry about losing weight. I said, but we're not going to bring your calories up. I said, let's just keep the calories the same. We still want to track everything. Still want you to go to the gym. We've reduced the amount of top sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, reduce his volume.
Sessions. Reduce the volume. So everything's asked. I've checked this week. I haven't spoke to him. I know he's really fucking busy, but he hasn't. This is like he's an ultra consistent habit tracker, but this week he hasn't tracked his habits. What would be your follow up today? I haven't spoken to him this week. Like, hey mate,
light-hearted. How's it going?
Really light-hearted. Yeah.
Just like how's it going? Check in. Don't put pressure on him. I think in that sense, it would have definitely either deloaded him or maybe moved into a strength endurance phase because his nervous system's ramped. So just gone into higher volume, lower intensity.
Yeah,
neither's wrong, by the way. This is just like two different approaches to the same thing. Depending on if he still wants to train hard, if that's like his stress relief. I may have put him at maintenance for a couple of weeks, given a bit of lecture with food. Because if you told him he didn't want to increase his calories, that might be the reason why. Oh, for fuck's sake! I asked for a bit more food, so I'm just gonna like just dip out and hide until I'm ready to get back on it again.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Well, I'll message him today. Jared, I spoke about the guy who just won't track MyFitnessPal and stuff like that. So he's been let me check his MyFitnessPal. He's been tracking his habits religiously since we spoke. So whatever I told him is fucking worked, which is great.
Do you know what you told him? So you can remember that for future clients in similar situations?
He supports Southend United, which is my local. I don't know if you know Southend United.
Not really. I'm not a big football person.
So the professional football team, my brother works for them, and he's the fitness coach, like strength and conditioning coach, and they're our local team. And we were both go into a game. So we was chatting on the Friday, and the next day we'll both go into who they'll play on the Saturday. So I was chatting about that, and I was like, I said, look, I get it. You've been progressing, you've been hitting targets. So like you're in your, and you haven't really been tracking stuff. So in your head, I probably think the same. What's the point in tracking stuff if I'm progressing and I'm not tracking it? It's easier not to do it. And he was like, yeah, basically it. So I was like, all right, so you support Southend, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, and he said he knew my brother. So you know my brother's a fitness coach. Like, yeah, like they put GPS trackers on the players every single game and it tracks everything. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, it's kind of like that. Like, imagine if my brother couldn't track any of the players' data, then how does he know who's fit and who's not fit, and how does he know who needs specific work in the gym to keep them progressing and keep them injury free? I don't know if that works, but that's how I framed it to him.
But if he's a big fan of that team and he wants to, if the athletes are things that inspire him, that's a really good comparison because athletes will track tons of fucking data.
But this is the thing: he's been tracking.
Yeah, mate, fucking great.
He doesn't feed back to me. Like, I don't really hear from him in the week. I know he works 2 jobs and like other stuff. I'm not giving him excuses, but he's not a very communicative sort of person. But he'll check in every week and do his habits, which is good.
That's fine. Like, again, in my mind, like some people's like
everyone's different
because we need to have this we're told that day-to-day communication is this big thing. I don't check in with people every day, like, and I've never been good at that because I'm not that kind of person. But
yeah,
I'll tell you what, if you were my coach, I probably wouldn't check on me every day. I may forget to reply every now and again, but I do my check-ins when I'm into it, and you'd have all the information there because when I'm into it. So it's like, well, you know, like if you get that, like as long as people check in with me and give me all the information and the data's there, I don't care if they message me on a Wednesday. Like, unless if I really need something, I go with the assumption my clients aren't going to check on me between check-ins, and if they do, fantastic.
That's good, but would you worry about this then? The fact that so he has HelloFresh, and I told him how to portion this out and whatnot of his family. I mean, he's not really following exactly what I'm giving him. I don't really care if he's losing weight. But the only issue I find of this is that, you know, if he's eating 1,000 calories a day, but then I know he's having like 3 meals out a week. I don't know how he's organising those because he's not doing it with me. Like,
exactly. Like let it if he's losing the right amount of weight, let it ride, and then when it becomes a problem, then you can maybe delve into it. Like, because there's an element here of like there's people run from pain more than they run towards pleasure. So like if there's a pain point like not stopping like weight loss stalling or something like that, then it's like, okay, let's look at this more. And then it might be like, oh shit, I'm going to change this. Whereas I'm progressing well and you're trying to take away one of my favorite meals, then you're like, oh, yeah, be sharp.
So just leave it until he's progressing, have a conversation when it's not. Because he never tracked, like I said, he had 3 meals out. He's never really. And
it doesn't have to be lack of progress, by the way. It could just be like if he starts to feel like shit, it feels tired. There's any symptoms where it's worth bringing this up, bring it up.
Like he said to me, so I'll tell you what he said actually, which might help. He said, all sounds good, blah, blah, blah. I don't have menus on social events. It's rarely planned these as they are last minute. And to be fair, some recently have been literally on the day. Like he went to watch West Ham and it was a last minute 3-course meal. Then he said, Saturday, the missus has planned the day and I don't know. And he put in brackets, not allowed to know what she's planning. It's a surprise. How do I give him strategies for that? Today I've created I'll show you actually. I've created this for clients, which is like a 4-step social strategy for our vault. So I've just gone through how to plan a social event in. So if I know he's never going to communicate with me, should I say, right, I get it, you're busy. What you to do is watch this video, and now you're going to have to learn how to plan these social events yourself if you're not going to communicate. And, you know, if you progress, great. If you don't, then I would advise reaching out to me and let me plan these with you.
Yeah, I would do that. I think that's fine.
Because I at least want him to do something as opposed to just winging it.
And then if he doesn't know what he's doing, buffer.
Yeah,
surprise isn't no buffer. Right, that's your solution. There you
go. Joel's all good, really, really good. Cameron again. So there's another guy, Stream Red. You know the guy I told you about who like progressed really well in his first 6 weeks, but we were meant to do a photo shoot. Went on holiday, France 2 weeks, and then I don't know what's happened since then.
Yeah,
it's been fucking 2 months since that holiday. He's completely stopped tracking habits. He doesn't check in. But like randomly last week, he turned up to your call. Like it's so fucking strange. But he's booked in for a call this evening, and finally to chat to him. Like, what would you talk about? He's in diet limbo for a long time. Like what would you say?
What the fuck are you doing? That's what I'd say. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
because then I'm like, dude, like you did so well. We had the photo shoot booked. You were flying high. Like, what's happened? Like, and I would do similar to the thing that we said about the other guy of like futuring it. Like, dude, right. So as it stands, you will look at least like you do now, if not worse in a year's time. Is that what you want from this? Like, you know, like that, like you just like, well, right now you are doing nothing. So what are you doing? Do you want to get better or do you want to just stay the same? Like, it's up to you. You can stay the same if you want, but I'm assuming that's not what you want.
Just be blunt. And if he takes that badly and wants to leave, then that's just one shit client off my back, isn't it? And don't care about.
I suppose, but like again, I don't know if you will, because it's like what should, like less people are always scared of this. Less people leave when you tell the truth than you think. Like it's you're not, if he was following it and you called him out, that's maybe a bit of a dick move. Because it's like, Jesus Christ, could you get off my back? I've been doing really, really well. And you're just like, you're focusing on, I'm 5 grams over on protein one day. Like that's like, I've made those mistakes where I've always seen the negative when they're actually doing like tons of other good stuff. But if he's not checking in, he's not doing anything, it's like, dude, like, you could have looked so good. Like, and I'd maybe start with filling in full of hope. Like, dude, you could have looked so good. You're on path to look amazing. Showcase the other guys in the photo shoot. Look what this guy's got. You're on the same track. You could have looked that way. But we've completely gone off the boil. What's happened?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, if you're calling him out of stuff, like if he knows it's true, it's like when at school, right? When you got in trouble from school and you did it, right? You weren't falsely accused, like you were a naughty little shit, right? And the headmaster was telling you off. You didn't go, "Fuck you, headmaster." You kind of just slump into your because you know it's true. You've just been caught out. Same thing. Less likely to leave than you think.
I'm looking forward to this chat. Diana, doing great. Nelly, so you know I spoke to you about the woman in Singapore who struggled with like the cravings and stuff. I dig deeper. We had a call Saturday, which is good.
Yeah.
She seems like a better headspace about it. But I dig deeper. She's like, I just don't get, like, you know, I do all this CrossFit and all my friends, they're so like slim and this and that. And I was like, okay. I was like, so we looked into it and she's been not been tracking it, but she's been having desserts in the evening anyway. So you know what you said about the wine thing, about that client or somebody that you knew had a client and they were like, can you just, you know, unsubscribe?
Yeah.
So I said to her, I was like, right, so you don't buy these things from the shops? Like, no, in Singapore, like you just order it to your house. It's so easy. I was like, okay, so what app do you use? It's called Grab. I was like, can you delete your account? But then she was like, no, because it's like Uber and I need it to get around. It's like for cars to get around as well. I was like, okay.
It's like Uber.
So then I was like, okay, no worries. So then I just said what you said, focus on delaying. When you eat out, send me pictures. And we're just going to work. I've given her a strategy. I'm just going to see how it goes for the next 7 to 14 days. But, you know, I can only see how it goes and progress.
I think there's Uber in Singapore, though. And also, like, I don't know. I can't remember. I've only ever used Grab for taxis. And I do know the two things link. But Uber has Uber Eats and Uber. And I don't know if Grab has the same thing. But it might be worth doing some research because let's look at that. Is Grab, because people bullshit you, knowing that you've never been to Singapore. Separate food and taxi. Grab taxi, meet a taxi, Grab, get cars, private car waiters. Oh no, it is both.
It is both. Okay, so this is not lying.
Yeah.
Who have we got here? All these other clients are good. They're all new. They're all progressing. All doing well. I suppose that's what that comes round full circle about me just being frustrated. Like if I added up the clients that just don't literally communicate and I can't really coach at the moment, there's one. There is. I mean, I wouldn't say Matt is like I know he's been busy. I know we'll have a chat, and I know he still ticks off his gym sessions. But I could say that's a client that's not really progressing. It's like one.
I'd also say like appreciate. Like I do appreciate busy. Like I'm not saying I'm never going to say that someone isn't busy, and I'm not saying that maybe they are too busy for this. But you're too busy for what you prioritize least. So like So if you're okay with that, like if I'm running a business, if I'm, I don't know, whatever you're doing that's making you busy, right? Family time, well, cool. You prioritize what you'll be too busy for what you prioritize the least.
Mm.
That's the thing. So like if as long as your clients know that fat loss is on the back burner because I've pushed this higher, that's cool. But like understand you're not going to get results with the effort you're putting in.
Mm.
Right? Like as long as they know that, that's fine. They can go through the motions and come back to you. But what we don't want is clients thinking they're going to get better results than they are because they're not doing it, because they're paid for your service, or because they're eating protein with one meal, but they're eating like 3 cookies in between it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff you want to like nip in the butt.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I've got 1, 2, essentially 3. Don't hear from her. He's checked in last week, so like I put him on like the shit list. She's leaving, so maybe I just won't count on her. So that's 4. Tom's like 5. He still checks in though. 6, 7, 8. That's 8 people like out of like 32. Would you say that's really bad? Bearing in mind, a lot of these people, again, like most of these clients joined me before I worked with you, so I'm interested to see that potentially.
They're all worth looking at, right? They're all worth looking at. And for some of these, they could be salvageable if we took the right strategy. We never give up on them. They just need the right thing to happen in their life, maybe, that makes this a higher priority, or they just need the right strategy or the right conversation that makes them kind of kick up a gear, right? But at the same time, no one is 100% adherent roster. And like everyone has different levels of communication, right? So even if you did have everyone that's adherent, as long as they're checking, if you got all these people to check in with you on a regular basis, that would be a great start. Again, no one's going to have that, right? Life happens. But like some people are going to communicate with you in between that, some people aren't. So I wouldn't even consider that a problem. But I'd say 8 out of 32 isn't terrible.
Yeah, 8 out of 32. And like I say, those 8 don't really check in. I'll have to double remind them, and then they might check in. And you'll get a few missed in the week.
At UP, we used to say we would like a 1 in 4 client like result. Some I don't know, they don't always be outstanding, but like decent result ratio. So like 8, 16, 24, 32, you've got basically a quarter. So that's essentially 1 in 4. If all of the people that are checking in get results.
Yeah. I mean, so far, these have all basically on, like, these are people that are people on target is literally, it's actually, they're on track. So, I mean, there is like 20 people on track. So I don't want to cloud the fucking positives that people are progressing every single week.
Yes, exactly.
And it's going well.
You still got 1 in 4 ratio. That's fine.
I think I need to be better at what you said though. At like when these clients are struggling, or I do have a conversation, instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm busy," blah blah blah. I feel, "Oh, okay, no worries," or like, but actually, maybe I need to question things a bit more, or just be like, "Hey, you haven't checked in a while." Instead of just saying every week, it's just reminded about your check-in. Like, actually,
busy is an excuse, right? Because like busy is an excuse. Priority is. So because we quit to go, oh, but they're busy. Well, they're always going to be busy. We're going to be working full time for most of our lives, right? There's always somebody more busy. So there is that element of like, cool, but if this is important to you, you're going to have to do this when you're busy at some point. So why not now? Like, if you can learn to do it when you're busy, it's easier when you're not busy. And if you let busy always take over, you will stay out of shape, because I promise you, you're not going to get 12 weeks where you're not busy once.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah, good. All right, man. Let's just help me. As I said, like I probably cause maybe all the same. I cause my own frustrations with like, why are you not responding? Why are you not doing your habits? And not that I'm saying that to them, but it's almost like, at the same time, I'm thinking
that's good though, right? Like if you didn't give a shit, then like that, then you wouldn't get these results.
I look at this form every morning. It's what I do. Quick 15, 20 minutes. I double check everything. I list down who needs to be messaged. I know. But as I mentioned, client management, maybe I'm pretty good with client management. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that call. And then last question is actually for me. So I told you in Italy that I was dieting. It's actually gone quite well. I didn't take it as seriously until the last week, so I wish I did, because I could have got a bit leaner. If I send you a picture on Instagram quickly, so you can see what I look like. So I mentioned about coaching, but I'm not. Basically, I've just stopped with my other coach, and because I want to save to go to Australia. I'm just kind of saving a bit of money unless I get more clients on to maybe sign up with you. So I'm not sure if I'll sign up with you soon or maybe in the new year.
Okay.
I just asked for some advice. Now I've seen your videos. I'm thinking about getting back into where is it? Thinking about getting back into some powerlifting type stuff.
That's cool.
So I've got pretty lean. I'm like 71.5 this morning. Don't look too bad. Considering I lost a lot of muscle.
Where were you to start with?
78.
So have you got a starting photo?
I sent it to you. If you go all the way back,
Yeah.
you've got me in Italy. So if you go scroll up.
God, do you want Instagram? Can you actually search photos on Instagram? Yes, I think you can. I know.
If you click on our chat, like click on my at the top where it says business chat, Lorenzo Russo, you should be able to see our pictures that are shared.
Is it? I think. Oh yeah. Mate, you've done all right.
Yeah, not too bad, to be fair. But now it's like, when you get a bit leaner, I'm like, and I hate this because you don't really care about body fat before, but now I'm leaner, I'm like, I don't want to chuck loads of body fat on. So I'm like, should I just go? I'm going to Dubai next week. So if you was me, would you diet down anymore?
How long? So you're going to Dubai next week?
I'm going to Dubai on Tuesday.
So there's no point in building. Like, get as lean as you can for Dubai because you're going to go like beach parties and pull like whatever. You're going to go on beach clubs and shit like that, right? So be shredded.
Yeah, no, I know. But then I'm thinking to myself, because I wanted to have like a proper bulk and build back most of my muscle before I get like shredded. So I was thinking, I'm still pushing to get as lean as possible in the next like 5-6 days. Should I just end the diet there? Like, I don't see any point in dieting more if I want to build more muscle anyway. Like, I don't want to be.
You're definitely lean enough to. It's just a case of like.
Yeah, like if I'm going to Australia and it's going to be summer there in like February time, I'm thinking, should I just do a bit of a slow build? Like, essentially what I'm saying is, should I just go reverse diet straight back up to maintenance at Dubai?
Yeah, I would do that. You probably have a pretty good idea what maintenance is as well.
Yeah, I reckon like 2.5.
Yeah,
like 2.5.
I mean, I'm just to show you. I don't know if you've done this yet.
I'm surprised in like 600 calories a day and it's fucking easy. Yeah,
decent.
Not too bad.
Who's your coach at the moment?
Oh no, he wasn't like a dieting. He was like he was coaching me, but it was, triage.
Yeah.
Method. It was one of their physios. So like I said, I had chronic pain. I don't anymore. He like fixed me.
So he didn't do the diet at all.
No, he did. We were like bulking. And he just gave me calories and macros. He never really checked my calories. It was more so just like we always talk about pain and training and progressions. So yeah, I reckon go back up to maintenance and just like try and add half a kilo a month.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, good maintenance you shouldn't really get. You'll get a bit initially, like extra water retention and glycogen and stuff like that. But like, I wouldn't do much else.
What's your thoughts of bulking at, mate? Like building muscle maintenance, especially if you've got a lot to gain back that the muscle.
Yeah. Ride the maintenance wave for as long as possible.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sweet.
And don't base it off weight gain, base it off performance improvements.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm looking forward to it, man.
I've got to shoot because I've got another call to get to, but hopefully it's been helpful.
Appreciate it, mate.